everyone. It is my pleasure to be here tonight with you guys to speak on these topics. I am very excited to go over this with you. What I would like to do is just go over a few things and then maybe tell a little story at the end. And then if I have time, we'll go over a couple of questions just at the end. So first of all, I'd like to ask you guys a question. Have you ever asked yourself, how do you know you're a speaker? You ever contemplated that? And then, have you ever asked yourself, what type of speaker am I? I believe there are 4 types. Number 1, there are informational speakers. An informational speaker will just be there to give and teach information on something, like a driver's ed instructor, for instance. They don't really care if you like them, if you're personable to them. They're there to do a job. They're there to put their hours in to teach what they need to teach, and then to get done. Go home, hang it up. Now, a lot of our public school teachers will become informational speakers or teachers. They tend to get in that classification. But if you ever remember a teacher from back in your high school or junior high school, it'll be someone who was inspirational, that inspired you in some way, that motivated you in some way, which brings me to number 2. Number 2 are motivational speakers. Now these are people who externally get you going. They're there to bring like a certain level of just energy to you. They usually get you pumped up. But if you ever noticed, has anybody ever went to like a seminar or a certain teaching where you were motivated and you got out and you were just like, oh well, I feel good, I'm ready to go, and then you find the next day or the next week you really had nothing left. Just kind of fizzled out. A motivational speaker will get the crowd going, will get you moving, but it usually will be temporary. If there's not momentum that's kept consistently, then it'll usually die down. Which brings me to level number 3. Number 3 are inspirational speakers. Now these are very necessary, very beautiful. They'll get in your soul and they'll stir it up. They'll get you excited and motivated, get you to move inside. An inspirational speaker will allow you to go and make changes in your life. They'll get you, it'll be more of a long-term lasting changes and things that you do. Now, inspirational speakers, they also create possibilities inside you. They are very necessary and beautiful. Now, the 4th is the transformational speaker. Now, I just thought about when I first started, I wanted to be an inspirational speaker. Motivate people, inspire them, great. But then I found out what a transformational speaker was. A transformational speaker will have you saying the things that you don't want to say, doing the things that you don't want to do, so you can be the man or woman that you've always known yourself to be. Now these are the type of people that get out there and they influence people to make life changes. But there's some things that come with being a transformational speaker that people don't really necessarily feel comfortable with. One is to be one, you have to be in transformation continually yourself. 2, you have to be willing to commit to change. Because a transformational speaker won't just get up here and talk to you. He has to continually work with somebody. Usually it comes in a form of a coach. Or somebody who's willing to go into that dark place with somebody and hold their hand and help them walk out so they don't have to be alone. Somebody who will stick it out with you. Transformational speakers are the road less traveled. That's what I aspire to become. Transformational speaker, by using some of the things that I've been through in my life. Drug addiction, prison, all these type of things would have allowed me to reach a certain niche and an understanding with people now that I can go down in those places with them and help walk them out. Give them tools that I've used that have worked for me and share with them and become very personable and let them know that they're not alone. This is the type of speaker that makes changes in the world. It takes a lot of time to do this. So typically, you're going to want to be involved in some type of a coaching practice or a job where you can help people transform their lives in a way. Now, I'd like to illustrate a little story for you. There's a young guy, and he goes up to a guru, and this guy's very successful and wealthy, and he says, some of you may have heard this, but he says, I want to be like you. I want to be successful and wealthy. And the guru says, well, if you want to be successful and wealthy, then just meet me down at the beach here tomorrow at 4 a.m. The guy's like, 4 a.m. at the beach? All right. So he shows up, and he's got his business suit on, and the guy's like, probably should have wore shorts. The guy's like, all right, well, he takes his hand, and he walks up to the water. And he's like, you want to be successful, right? And he's like, yeah. So they walk out, and they get about waist deep. He's like, man, this guy's crazy. I don't really know what's going on here, but I really want to be successful. And the guy's like, all right, well, let's keep walking. And so they walk out, and they get about up to their chest. And the guy's like, man, this is just silly. I'm about to turn around and go back. The guru's like, look, you said you wanted to be successful, right? So he's like, yeah. He goes, all right, let's go. So they go out, and they go up to about neck deep. The guy's like, man, this is just senseless. Right then, he's like, you want to be successful? Watch this. Grabs him, pushes him down under the water, holds his head down. The guy's fighting, he wants up. Finally, just as he's ready to lose his breath altogether and drown, he pulls him up. And he says, so, I got a question for you. And the guy's like, man, you're crazy. I don't know. This is insane. I could sue you for this. The guy's like, just let me ask you a question. When you were down there, what is it that you were thinking about? Can anyone tell me what the guy in that position, if you were him, what you'd be thinking about when you were under that water?
Being able to breathe.
Exactly. He's like, I just wanted to breathe. He goes, now, when you want success and to be wealthy, as much as you wanted to breathe when you were under that water, then you'll have it. The guy's like, I understand. My point is in illustrating that story for you is that a lot of people think they want to be motivational speakers and transformational speakers. I've looked it up, there's somewhere between 3,000 and 15,000 in the U.S. right now. Different sites say different numbers. That's just an average. But you have to ask, what will make you different? Because a lot of people will start and think they want to do this job, and then they'll just be like, oh, this is too hard, or give up. You have to ask yourself, what's special about me? What makes me different? What makes me able to help people? What makes me able to stick it out? Ask yourself, what kind of a imprint do you want to leave in this world before you die? While you're here breathing, what do you want your life to have said? What do you want it to have done or produced? These are things that are above and beyond the normal questions. These are things that you want to contemplate. What do you want your life to have said while you were here? These are all the things that come with, I believe, the acknowledgement of our lives are bigger than we are. That we are all put here. All of you have something special in you. All of us were put here to develop and to help and to give and contribute and to help somebody else come through some of the things that you've come through so you can make it a little easier on them. And I do believe that all of you have that ability to find those things and to use them. You're all special in some way. Thank you.